Hey guys, that's it, bringing you another video, this time on Aatrox top lane. Now I've been playing a fair bit of Aatrox recently. I've always had him kind of in my champion pool since his release. Bought the bundle for him, that's where you can kind of see the Justicar skin. And I play him both in top and jungle, there will be a commentary for jungle as well. And I've just been having pretty good success with him so far. In the week or so that I've been playing him, again, I'm currently 4-0 with him in ranked. Around the diamond level, and last night I played, it was a really funny game last night. Now this game is a week old, so it'll be like fresh for me casting this or commentating this because I have no idea what actually happens this game. I vaguely remember what happened in my lane though. But yeah, like I played a really funny game last night that I was against some guy with the curse name. It was Curse Ed Magician, so I don't know if it was Edward, it might have been, I don't know. But I really, I owned him, which is pretty fun. But yeah, I really do enjoy playing Aatrox. He's a champion that is really versatile in what he can do. You can go pure damage on him, you can go tank on him, you can go split push and that type of thing. Now my starting items, I go into the Elixir of Fortitude and then build some health potions. Now there is many starting options you can do for Aatrox. You know, Doran's Shield is viable, Cloth 5 if you're scared. Boots you can do, but I'd stay away from it. Or you can Doran's Blade, sorry I missed that one, and Elixir of Fortitude. I tend to go for the Elixir if I'm going to go aggressive fairly early on and try to get the first blood or a very early kill. And it has worked out quite well for me. Aatrox, and we are using this to this game here. Aatrox and Elise combo is awesome. Now last night in my game that I played, we also had the Aatrox Elise combo, and we actually used that to advantage to do turret dives. If you've been watching Worlds, you would have seen that actually happen in Worlds as well. So it's a really good synergy between them two champions that both can get rid of turret aggro with my Bloodwell and her repel. So they're really good champions together. Now I am against a guy that has Triumphant Rise, so he has won a tournament sometime in his LOL playing career. I have no idea who DMS are. Maybe they're a known team. I have no idea. But I have no idea if it's his main or if he's just playing it to show off the skin, because I know many people do that who have the skin. Now early on Aatrox, I like to push the wave. Be fairly aggressive in that fact, especially against a Rise that has a hard time last hitting under tower. Now the spells that I max on Aatrox. Now I was watching Wicked, who you would probably call the best Aatrox player in Europe in top lane. And he maxes E. Voyboy does it differently, but I went for Wicked's type of approach, and it really does work really, really well. So there's a gank coming in on myself, Nocturne's coming in, and I simply just jump away. I do get prismed, but Rise, he decides to run back, and that ruins Nocturne's gank. So luckily I survived the first gank. Obviously I do not have any wards, so I am prone to getting ganked fairly early on, but I should be okay for now. Just using the bushes to my full advantage, making sure that, you know, I won't get caught out. Nocturne is staying in the area. My team does pick up the first blood. Nocturne, as you can see, is still here. They really want to kill me right now. But Elise is coming in, and I basically was trying to bait him as well as I can for the Elise. Now we are moving on to him, and bam, first kill for myself, and moving on to the Nocturne. Here's my Bloodwell coming on cooldown. I'm going to try and continue for the Nocturne. Unfortunately, Elise does miss that. Now, we were so close on actually killing this Nocturne. As you would see, as you could tell, if she hit the cocoon, that Nocturne would have been dead. That would have been a really good outcome. But still, 1 for 2, or 1 for 0, sorry, in the top lane is still pretty good overall for myself. Now, as an Aatrox, if you're against a squishy AP or someone that's not going to build tanky early on, then you are looking to snowball quite heavily. I have pop my Elixir. I am going to push this a little bit, a little bit more. Try to deny that little bit of CS as well as get my gold up a little bit more. Now, Elise does find herself a Rise, which isn't the greatest positions, but she actually can trade with him quite a little bit better than I thought she would be able to. So at the moment, she's seeing if she can try and bait him, but unfortunately, he runs into the tower. So this time Elise is doing right now, she's just going to base, and we both decide to go back. So if you look into the gold, how much do I have? I've got only 800, nearly 900, so I'll probably only pick up myself, I don't know, a couple long swords or a Doran's Blade, that type of thing. As I said, this game was a week ago, so I do not remember my purchases or what happened in this game. I just vaguely remember it went well. So I pick up myself a Doran's Blade, 1 ward, and some health potions. I think that might be only 1, or it might be more. Okay, it was 3. If you look over there, it's 3. So in the mid lane, Morgana actually gets killed by Katarina, which is quite rare to be honest, as Morgana is very good against Katarina. But you do get, as I say in all type of situations when people ask me the question, if you are very good at a champion, it does not matter what you're against. You will just win that lane. And that could be the example of this. You know, Katarina normally loses to Morgana, but if our Morgana does not play Morgana a lot, then, and if the Katarina does, she's going to lose. It's that pretty much simple. Ryze is deciding to back fairly early on from him coming back to lane, and that's probably to pick up his tier, and yep, there it is. So what can you do against a Ryze, or what can a Ryze do against an Aatrox or anything like that? Well, honestly, I do not rate Ryze as a top laner anymore. It was a good for a period of time that you could use the advantage of the poke, and you could just free farm. That was the idea, because Ryze is very strong when he has free farm. But the problem with Ryze now is that he's movement speed based and not range based, more or less. You know, they nerfed his range and put it on movement speed. The problem with that, any bruiser with any form of CC can simply just get on top of Ryze every single time. As you can see, just jump on him and just damaging him, and he's nearly dead. I'm nearly dead, but I'm an Aatrox. I have health potions, he has no health potions, and I've got my lifesteal with W. So this Ryze is not in a very good position, or he does have one health potion, but that's pretty much it. So I was looking to see if I can maybe get a tower dive in there, but without Bloodwell, you have to be very careful, because you don't want to give away free kills, especially to a Ryze. Just poking him with the E, use my ultimate to go in and going to try escape. Unfortunately, I get creeped blocked by about a second or so, and unfortunately I do go down. I don't know if I would have survived if I didn't get creep blocked, but yeah, I got a kill in the end of the day. The more I can snowball this lane, the harder I'm going to be able to pressure on Ryze, and I know over and over again I can kill this Ryze in lane fairly easily. I think I was just being a little bit impatient there, a little bit too impatient for my own good. While I'm walking to lane, let's have a look at what the map is doing. So these guys seem to be doing okay. They're at a small disadvantage in XP, but that doesn't stop Leona. Elise is coming in from the side, and they're going to probably pick up this Sona. Elise picks up the kill. Good cocoon in midair, but I don't think they're going to make anything else of that gank. Corki was looking to go aggressive onto the Elise, but he manages to get out safely. So moving back into lane, my build now consists of a Kingle Gem. Now I do like CDR on Aatrox, and my Bloodwell is also up. This Kingle Gem will eventually build into a Spirit Visage. So straight away you can see me just going aggressive onto the Ryze. I want to just push him out of wave. Now you can say that I'm taking a lot of free damage here, but in the end of the day I am an Aatrox. I have the power to just get my health back up when I have lane pressure back. He's not level 6 yet, and I've got to be a little bit careful, I would admit. I did take a little bit too much damage, but I will be healing. Now, I am level 7 right now. Nocturne goes down into the bottom lane, I believe, and we'll see if anybody dies. I think one person may go down, and there we go. Caitlyn does go down, unfortunately. Corki picks up the kill. Obviously, Corki becoming a lot more popular. But anyway, just jump on the Ryze, pop my ultimate and my ignite, and bam, he's dead again. This is kind of the power of Aatrox. Many people underestimate how much damage his ultimate does when you just activate it. So if you hover over it, it does 200 damage, 200 magic damage, just by activating it if they're in range of it. That's a lot of damage in early ranks and early levels, etc. So you've got to look out. Aatrox can do bursts when he just jumps on your face. Like last night, I had a game where I literally just EQ'd and ultimated and someone died. I was like, okay. So that's the power of Aatrox. I can't stress it enough how good this champion is. He's very versatile, as I was saying. There will be a commentary coming up in the near future that he is actually, I'm actually jungling on him. And there is, his build doesn't differ that much from the top lane to his jungle. You don't build any Spirit Stone items on the jungle Aatrox, but I'll go into that more in detail when I'm actually doing that commentary. So right now I'm 3-1-0 with 41 CS, 10 more odd CS than Ryze, as well as 2 more kills. Obviously giving that free kill to him wasn't the smartest idea, but yeah, it's okay. I'm snowballing the lane from it. So going aggressive on him again. Now you can just see how aggressive I want to play this lane. As I said before, I have sustain. Ryze doesn't really have sustain unless he's going to pop the ultimate every single time that it's up. Nocturne was looking for a gank because right now I am becoming a threat. They are probably pretty scared of what I potentially could come. Because Aatrox is a beast. When he gets his, Blade of the Ruined King, that type of item, he's going to do a lot of damage. So we're looking for a little gank here. Just ignore the Nocturne. move in with my ultimate, and I think we might finish that kill. Yep, there we go. Just going onto the Nox and seeing if we can get him. Unfortunately, Elise does do a very good repel there, so well played to Elise. I thought she was actually going to go down there. Going to push the wave as much as I can, maybe even try to go for a dive on the Noxen, because I do have Bloodwell. I did my Q way too early then, unfortunately, and we just go for the tower pressure. Maybe even push the wave a little bit more, just to deny that a little bit extra. Now, we do have to be fairly careful of Katarina right now. Morgana is claiming missing, and she could be roaming up and double killing us both. But obviously, if you look on the minimap, she is just heading back to mid. So that's another assist for myself. Elise actually picked up that kill. I got rooted, so I was just out of range of picking up the kill myself. Now, there is a fight going on between Elise and Nocturne right now, and unfortunately, I don't think we managed to pick him up. She went on him, well, she went him at the right time, but unfortunately I just wasn't in the area. I wasn't expecting her to jump on his face. So everybody's quite low apart from Rise, who just got back. Rise is opting for the normal Rise build, which you could argue is not a very good idea. When you're against an AD and you're losing as hard as he is, he's still continuing to try and get that Rod of Ages, and because he's being so denied, heavily, he's not going to pick that up for a while. So you could argue that him picking up, a Frozen Heart early on would be much better than going for the Rod of Ages, because it will give him survivability, which he really, really needs right now. Anyway, my items consist now of a Vampiric Scepter, which will give me sustain. Now, the reason I just picked up the Kingle Gem earlier, I didn't really express it, is just to give him the tankiness I kind of need, give myself the CDR that will allow me basically just to bully him that little bit more with my E. As I do max the E, as it does do a lot of damage and it's very good at wave clearing. Just going to last hit under tower. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually manage to pick up the CS. I'm like one auto attack or one little attack out. Now, the thing with an Aatrox is you've got to know how or when to use your W, when to be healing mode, when to do damaging mode. And this is the thing I'm still learning. From what I can see with watching Wicked, that type of thing, is as soon as you get Blade of the Ruined King, you can pretty much have your damage W on 100% of the time. But that's pretty much it. Or most of the time. When you want to regen, obviously flip it. Now, I am going for top tower. Rise is coming back to lane, but he's being a bit careful of when he's coming in. There was a fight in mid lane, which is, I think, gone okay for us. Or no, it hasn't, actually. I think it's going to turn into a 2-1, which isn't great. Unless Elise can get away, but I pretty much doubt it at this point. I'm on my way to try and intercept Helper, see what I can do, and I think I do actually manage to save her. So that's actually pretty good. She does get saved. Nocturne was looking for the snipe with his Q, but doesn't manage to get it. Meaning that I'm here. I think I'm either going to look for the Nocturne if he's around the tower, or I might just take the wall. So I think, looking for the Nocturne, and maybe... Oh, okay, nothing else. Maybe he was going to walls, and that's what I kind of thought. I might have even thought that he was trying to go for the Elise again, trying to sneaky, because it does happen. You've got to be careful of people trying to get people, surprisingly. So right now, we're relatively even in lane in CS. He has got that little lead I have back. Because my wave got so pushed, I've been denied a little bit. But being the kills ahead, it doesn't really affect me that much. It just means my CS is affected. Going into the mid lane, seeing if I can get a gank off onto the Katarina. Pretty good combo with a Aatrox and a Morgana, in the fact that you can bind and then knock up, and there's a kill. So use my ultimate, Morgana uses hers, and the Katarina does go down. Overall good gank. Remember to roam if you are a top laner and your lane is pushed. You're not immune to it like much a mid laner isn't. Roaming and helping your team secure kills is always a good thing to do. So I go back to base with another kill on my belt. Rise does overtake me in the CS lead, as you would imagine. See what I could buy. Have I not bought anything? Okay, there you go. I bought the Cutlass. Also bought boots, I believe, and then going to return to lane. Rise is relatively roaming towards the mid lane, I think, just to... because he's kind of scared of the mid lane, I suppose, or the top lane, that if he's in top lane with me and it's pushed, that he would probably just die. So he's trying to find farm anywhere he can just to try and help him get that Rod of Ages as quick as possible. So he does go to the mid lane and just take a wave or two. So I am going to try and push this wave as much as I can. Now I do have a ward onto the blue buff, and I think I know, or let's just have a look. Rise is doing the blue buff himself, and there you go, I have a ward on it. So I'm going to try and clear this wave as quick as possible. From memory, I kind of vaguely remember. Trying to not make it obvious that I know he's doing the blue buff. But going to move over there, I think, any second. So anyway, there is a fight going on down bottom lane, but I'm going to head over here. Now, Rise has done blue, and now he's decided to base, so you're going to see me in a second flash and also use like my ultimate and that type of thing. Use my Cutlass. He roots me, but I'm going to still continue to try and go for him because it'll be actually a pretty big kill if I get this one. And bam, he's dead. So I managed to pick up the blue buff that he just got and managed to survive with the Blood Boil. I do burn my flash to get to him, but that was definitely worth it. Katarina is pressuring the Morgana right now. Quite a lot of damage coming out of Katarina. But yeah, that was pretty good play. You have to know on a lot of champions whether the flash is going to be worth it or get you there in time. Ari is a good example of this. A lot of the time people don't think to flash and then ultimate to get in range. It's, you know, just a thing to do. It's a thing that just comes naturally, I suppose. So Morgana is still getting pressured by the Katarina. Katarina, I would say, has done actually very well this game against the Morgana. Even with CS, you know, she's a melee champion, and still even with a Morgana, who is the queen of farming in mid lane, the queen of denying that she puts a pull down, and nobody wants to walk in that because it gets rid of MR. So anyway, returning to top lane now, I've picked up 2 daggers, which attack speed is very good for Aatrox. This will eventually build into a Blade of the Ruined King, as you would imagine. There is an ultimate going down into the mid lane, so they have to be fairly careful here. Morgana's bind does hit, and she actually doesn't pick up the kill. Katarina might even get away. So this isn't great focus featuring the Morgana and the Elise. Nocturne is missing most of his spells, which isn't great for him. Now I am moving in from the side, seeing if we can do anything. I'm taking kind of a roaming approach to the top lane this game. Rise is getting, you know, farm. You know, he's even with me again. Every so often we just keep trading how much farm we both have with each other. But I'm being a lot more effective than he is. I'm securing kills around the map, or 1 kill around the map so far, and just applying pressure. You know, they're not going to run into a team fight if I'm there at the moment because I'm actually incredibly strong. I'm going to return to the top lane and just push it out again. Use my E, lovely wave clear. Use my Q also, and bam. So right now, let's just see. I've got max E. My E does 255 plus 3 plus 38 magic damage to all enemies hit, and slows them by 40% for nearly 3 seconds. So it's actually a really good spell. My ultimate, being ranked 2, now does 300 damage. So yeah, Aatrox does a lot of damage. As you can tell, I am a big fan, and I will be continuing to play him in the future. Now I take the opportunity to take the red buff, as Elise has been camping this bot lane, and red buff for me is actually very good. Gives me an extra slow, gives me a little bit more damage, basically just to farm the Rise that little bit more. So going to just take it any second, there we go, and maybe going to try and apply pressure onto the Katarina, but she did go for a dive, and Morgana, I think from memory, got a very good bind off that just trapped her into tower, and she basically just died. Pressure going on the bot lane while I move back into the top lane and see if I can actually get onto the Rise while, you know, he's farming. Somehow he knows that I'm in the area. Don't know how. There's no wards that you can just see. Maybe he's just, as soon as he pushes the wave, he just runs away. I'm not really sure. I don't think I was streaming this game from memory. But I will be getting actually more VOD point of view commentaries out there. You know, I do like to mix it up nowadays because I have got a lot of replay working again. But I do understand some people like to see exactly where I'm looking in the game. But I know some people also want to see if there's a boring point, then you can see other things like what I just missed. God, I'm good at this. So Elise actually has a level 2 level disadvantage to the Nocturne, which is actually pretty surprising. But if you look into the farm, actually it's not surprising. Nocturne's on 99 and Elise is on 36. That is quite a big difference. But Elise does have 5 kills and Nocturne has 0, but that still doesn't probably equate, let's just see, actually to the gold. Totals, okay, she is ahead, but because of the amount of farm that Nocturne has taken, he is ahead in XP by quite a significant way. Now Nocturne's build, I know why he's done it. He's basically done that to shut me down if he were to gank top lane, but he hasn't really ganked top. But that, you know, Warden's Mail really does shut down a Aatrox quite big, because you're getting your sustain from the auto attacks as your spells cost health. You really do need the auto attacks to, you know, heal you back up. And if he's shutting that down, then I will be in a little bit of trouble. But it hasn't really worked out for him because it's just made him quite squishy in comparison to the Elise, who now has a Ancient Golem and the Ages of the Legion. So that is actually quite a tanky Elise for still being, you know, 2 or 3 levels behind the Nocturne. Pick up my Blade of the Ruined King. Also pick up a Ruby Crystal and a Ward. Now I think I would be building a Spirit Visage for my next item, as if we look into the Katarina, she is fairly strong in herself.
as well as obviously a AP Rise and a AD Corki who does magic damage. So Spirit Visage this game is actually very effective. Even if it's mainly a full AD team, I would probably still recommend Spirit Visage on Aatrox just at a later stage in the game, as the healing percentages, etc., and the CDR, the health, is just awesome for him. It's just an item that is made for him and Zac, I think, which is pretty awesome. I said awesome too much, but as you can see, my health is actually starting to stack up. I have 2,100 health, which isn't a bad benchmark for not having actually many tanky items. Now the blue buff has been started. Rise is calling that he'll take it. Now, I would argue that giving like this Nocturne's case, I would not give the blue buff to Rise, as he's just probably going to feed it away, and that's kind of thing you just have to realize. I do force it going onto the Nocturne, so maybe if I thought it through, maybe I should have let it go onto the Rise, because I can just very easily kill him. There was pressure in mid lane, and they actually managed to get the mid tower, so that's actually a pretty good rotation by the Leona. I think I'm going to try and come in from behind and seeing if we can do anything like a mini team fight, mini engage, that type of thing. Just rotating across. There's a team fight going on, so we'll just check this out. We'll go into team fight view. Katarina's coming in and actually doing quite a lot of damage. You can see me just slowly making my way in from the side. Use my ultimate, and you can see how much damage I'm currently doing, and bam. So Morgana actually picks up a triple kill, and I think I get kill? Okay, I get one kill, so that's not terrible. So we do get a 4-for-1 exchange, pretty good. Corki was not involved in that team fight, but neither was Katarina, so you could call it kind of even in that aspect. Gonna move into the tier 2 tower, seeing if we can do anything. I do have my blood well up, so if this Corki goes a little bit, ballsy, then we could probably just easily kill him anyway. Now, his damage, as you could tell with a Corki, is fairly high, but being this game a week ago or so, the Triforce Corki phenomenon hasn't really kicked in fully, so he hasn't built a Triforce first item, he's building its second item, which, as you could probably tell by just watching Worlds, etc., Triforce is the way to go first. But there will be, I haven't done I should have done this commentary a little bit earlier, but there will be commentaries now every other day. I'm going to try and make them every 2 days. With uni starting in the next 2 weeks or so, it gives me a week or so basically just to record as many commentaries as possible, just so I can continue to have content coming out when I just start university. As I do not want to stop making content when uni starts, and I'm 100% sure it won't stop. It will just be, I'll have to schedule it more. And with saying that, with the stream, etc., the stream is becoming a little bit more popular, which I really enjoy. Normally, back in the day, I got around 20 viewers, which was really good for me, where nowadays I'm actually getting 50 odd, which is awesome. And the stream is twitch.tv/HuzzyGames. I do a lot of viewer interaction. I try to answer questions. If there's a troll in my game, I tell people how to deal with it, and I just do it in the game, so people can actually tell, and you can see if it's effective when I do it. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I just do the stream for, and it's pretty good. I do play against a few professionals every now and then. I played against Reckless the other day. We actually owned him, which is actually pretty funny. Our Corki in that game actually had over 20 kills, so that kind of says something. And I think I was playing Talon in mid lane in that game. So there, as last night, I had a guy called CJ Enters Mad Life in the game. I had Curse Ed Magician in the game. And I had someone else, and I had a challenger Smurf in the game that he was actually streaming. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. So being in Diamond does have its perks. It feels pretty cool when you occasionally play with professionals. Now I do not know. Well, obviously the CJ Enters Mad Life guy was not the real Mad Life. It was just funny that he was playing Alistair with that name, and he actually did really good too. But anyway, moving back onto the kind of Aatrox thing, because not much has happened over the past couple minutes. I am pressuring the top lane, and they've decided to send Corki against me. Now, the Corki isn't the best idea to send against an Aatrox. Sure, he can poke me down somewhat, but anyway, there's a team fight going on, and I'm going to stop this Corki coming in. Right now, he does a fair amount of damage, but so do I. But if I could take him out, that's pretty much my job done. So I'm going to focus on this, because you probably want to see what's happening in this little engage. Corki still thinks that he can probably take me. He jumped over the wall to try and get away. He also flashed, so I'm going to flash after him, and I'm basically just going to take him down. So there we go, picked up the Corki kill, and Blade of the Ruin King didn't even work. Now, I've had this problem over the past couple of days, that I press Blade of the Ruin King, but it just doesn't happen. I don't know if it's my keybind acting up, maybe it's the keyboard itself, but that wasn't great. not having the Blade of the Ruined King proc made my health go a little bit lower than I would have liked. But anyway, going to push the top tower to try and get this tier 2. My team actually won the 4v4, which is great, so they're going to push into the mid. And there's the tier 2 top tower gone. So probably going to return to base. If we look at the gold amounts, if we actually compare me with the Rise is 6,100, I have 9,100, so I'm 3,000 gold ahead of this Rise. That is a lot of gold. As well as, let's just quickly skim through the team. Elise is ahead by about 600 gold. Morgana is ahead by 2,000. Corki's ahead, or Caitlyn's ahead by 1,200. Leona's ahead by 1,500 or so. So you could tell I have the biggest lead over my lane opponent with having 7 kills and 30 odd more CS than him. Now they are looking to do Dragon. I am moving into the area. They're pressuring the Leona, which is questionable. You know, I don't know why he's messing around with Gals there on the Leona while he could basically just be doing Dragon. And with that, he's basically just delayed his team in not doing the Dragon. So we're going to try and move in. Morgana does a very good ult there. Jumps immediately into the zone and picks up that kill. And I'm going to try and kill the Nocturne myself with Leona trying just to help me. He runs into the middle of a Caitlyn and I pick up the kill for myself. I think I actually managed to pick up that with the blades, just testing that actually still worked. So going to continue just to go onto the Dragon. Going to jump over the wall and move on to either the red buff or something along them lines. Find a Corki. How are you doing, Corki? Put a pressure on him. Use my ultimate. I thought he didn't have W up because I would have expected him to W straight away. Going to try and continue applying pressure. Elise actually does flash and we do manage to pick up the Corki kill. I pick it up even though the Caitlyn ult was on it. You know, I want more kills. I'm currently 9-1-2. So trying to get that KDA up, I suppose. Going to try and pressure the mid tower. It is already at around a third health. So if we can pick that up, that would be great. Going to continue just pressuring, I suppose. Rise is still top. Don't know why he's top. He's trying to pick up the tier 1 of top lane. But actually, yeah, he's going to pick that up. But still, we're applying pressure to a tier 2. Or this tier 2. And we're applying pressure to a tier 3. So, yeah, we're at a very big advantage. If we look at the top, it's 27-9. Move up, jump over the wall. Kill the Sona. I didn't pick up the kill for myself. But still managing to do quite a lot. Move on to the Nocturne, I think that is. Yep, that was a Nocturne. Look at the gold advantage. We are 11,000 odd gold ahead. It's a pretty big advantage to have right now. Rise has finally picked up his Rod of Ages, sorry, which isn't really going to help him as you'd imagine. Looking for extra kills. Elise does manage to survive with that little shield proc. And we're just, I think, going to push it for the win. So yeah, Aatrox is I wouldn't say one of my favourite champions, but I am enjoying to play him quite a lot. So was looking maybe to jump on his face there, but wouldn't probably be the best idea. Sona went a little bit too aggressive there. Katarina's getting quite a big ultimate off, but she does go down. My Bloodwell does pop, and we manage to pick up them again. Nocturne has sped out with Home Guard boots, but I just run away with my Q. And I tell everybody, yep, not worth it, just leave. We're very low health. Sure, we want to finish the game. Sure, we want to win, but it comes in time. So going to return, maybe even try and see if the red buff's up, and nope, it's just a midget. So unfortunately not going to pick up that buff there, but I think I'm just going to head back to base. You can see that I've also picked up the Warden's Mail. Got 1,700 gold, so I would imagine I'll be picking up myself a Giant Spell and maybe finishing my boots. So there's the Giant Spell, and do I finish any type of boot? Mobility or something? I don't. Yeah, there you go, Boots of Mobility. Boots of Mobility I quite like on Aatrox as it allows him to get into the fight a lot quicker. Now the builds with Aatrox I tend to do is Blade of the Ruined King first item just to give him sustain and damage, and then I move into being a sustain type of tank, and that will give me the Spirit of Visage that increases my healing as well as gives me MR, CDR, health regen, that type of thing. And then I build into an armor item, which is normally Randuin's. Randuin's an awesome item on Aatrox because you're normally in the middle of a team fight, so you can simply just use your Randuin's while you're in the middle of a team fight. Now we are looking to pressure Baron. Now honestly we could basically group as 5 right now and just finish the game. But we're delaying it a little bit more and we're just going to finish it. Now Elise is going to try and tank this Baron, but she's an okay strength, but she's not really, you know, amazingly tanky. She has a Locket and a Ancient Golem, but she hasn't got much armor in that. We do pick up the Baron and we're going to try and head in for the win, I would imagine. They were pressuring mid lane just to basically force them not coming, but in the end of the day it wouldn't even matter if they came to the Baron because we probably would have just ended up acing them. got the regen of the Baron right now, so from any health we lost, we're just going to just heal it back up. I run into basically just to the turret, and we're just going to kill it. Right now, I'm really tanky. I don't really care. They're going in for an engage on us, which, yeah, I don't really know is wise from their point of view. Any second, I would imagine I'll be jumping in, bam, getting the knock up, and going to continue just hitting people's faces. Got the increased range, obviously, from my ultimate, but I think they're just out of range for me right now. Use my E to slow the rise, and I think Caitlyn, there we go, picks up the kill. Rise being 1-9 right now, which isn't great for him, with myself being 10-1. So I had a pretty good game this game. This is how you kind of dominate a lane as a Aatrox, I feel. This is generally what I do most games when I play Aatrox, which I could sound a bit big-headed, but generally I do, as I am fairly familiar with this champion. Katarina tries to get an ultimate off, which didn't go very well for her. But anyway, this was top lane Aatrox. There'll be a jungle Aatrox coming out. There'll be an Ezreal coming out. There'll be a Talon coming out. There'll be a lot more. There'll be an Orianna, etc. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.